Okay, we should be live now. You are live. John Doyle from Optix EQ. I'm here with Emily Gullikson. And check us out. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're all over the place. Just find us. And we're going to go through. Go ahead, Emily. We live or what there?
Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, you're saying, and go find us. And I'm like, I'm trying. I'm trying to find us.
I
found us.
Okay. Yeah, so we're going to go through the early pick 5 quickly. We're going to do speed handicapping at Del Mar, and then we're going to switch back and forth between Saratoga and Del Mar as the races go live. Talk about kind of strategy around those races, handicap with Optix products, and then I think maybe if we want, we'll do 2 races at Woodbine, but we'll see. I am going to have to completely defer to Emily on Woodbine, that's for sure. But I think, Emily, I quickly looked at Del Mar, and that's where we'll start. Let me pull up Del Mar. And I thought it was a doable pick 5. Like I thought there was
I put in a little ticket, so I'm curious to what.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought the races I thought looked manageable, but again, 2 seconds, and I'm not playing Del Mar, but I thought it was. Oops, I know I wrote something down here. I'm looking for my notes. Okay, well, I don't know where they are. I can go through the races quickly. When we go through them, I'll remember myself. Yeah, I got the first race. We're on the first race now. Let's look at it.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just thought, Peter Miller kind of took this race, right? I mean, I don't see just from.
Well, he has 2 and 5, right? I mean, the barn has been a little bit cold for what it's worth. Not terribly, but when you have horses that look like the 2 or 5 that should, clear cut win. There's been some horses that look like that and
didn't get it done.
Finished 2nd or 3rd.
Well, last week he did have that 29-1 shot finish. I think it was 29-1. Finished 2nd in the
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it's horses that they look capable. It's just they're not winning at that high percentage when he's sending out horses that are just firing left, right, and center. But I agree. The horse that I got a little bit creative with in here was the 7, which actually, strangely enough, has a Peter Miller connection because this trainer, Renee Amaskua, hope I'm saying that right, was running the Oaklawn Park stream earlier this year for Miller.
There you go.
So
3 horses in there, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And they claimed this horse at Churchill Downs, and I did some research just as far as this barn and this owner and taking horses and stuff. And they have had horses with this trainer, but it's been a while. And they have a couple runners. There's one later on this weekend that they claimed. So there could be, we'll go back to what I said last week, positive intent. So I went Peter Miller, and then with the asterisk Peter Miller as well, using the 7 just as a wild card.
People are new to Optix. We're looking at the plot. If you look at the reason why do we think the 2 and 5 look good? It's just, if you look at the plot, they're both in quadrant 1. Quadrant 1 are horses that are forwardly placed, and they're both squares, so they can finish. And you could just see there's really not much else in there. Okay, the 8 looks like a big square. Maybe he's got some finishability, but it's it's a little bit difficulty closing on those 5 furlong sprints. But I didn't know if you had an opinion of the 5, Emily. I mean the 8. I'm sorry, the 8.
Well, no, my opinion was kind of the same as you. I mean, he's a closer. He's been running at a little bit longer distances. Does look good on the plot, but you can see. I mean, to your point, the speed rating is not high. You have all those horses that are below the par line, even though you do have some EEP types. Just how far back he's going to be in order to close. It would just, it's with closers, it comes down to price. Sadler's been very live. So that's in his corner. He's been working fine. So all that stuff, I mean, he's certainly capable, but I preferred those others just in terms of trip.
Okay. So Emily thought 2, 5, and 7 in that race. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go to race 2. And I agree. I'll take her word on the 7.
It's
wouldn't want.
just, to get creative with something
Right.
that's like, could be a little
I guess
bit
this all
unknown.
depends on how you're going to bet and what these other races look like.
Yeah.
Okay, so this race, um, I didn't. What was the horse? I mean, I was a little interested in the 2. Emily, what did you think of the 2 in this race? Family Biz.
Yeah, I did like this horse. I'm trying to remember. From the notes, and he was entered on opening day. A couple of the horses that came back from that race, the winner of that race at Los Alamitos, I believe, ran well. Yeah, so I like the 2. I think the 2 fits for sure.
It looks like there's going to be some pace in this race. He can come off of it. Yeah, and you look at the race, right? You said before, better than luck, and he kind of looks like he's been running solidly. Up just above this. I don't know like how this translates, but it looks like just above this level, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
horses.
I mean, he hasn't. If you just kind of scroll over, I know the grid's not pulled up right now, but looking at the grid, the 2 races that he's coming out of, that better than looked race, and then the second place finish at Los Alamitos. Scrolling over, he was in a slow pace, very slow pace, and it looks like today there's going to be more contention. With the sun and the 50 speed rate.
Yeah, and then you got like 3 horses coming off extended layoffs, which I typically don't like.
Can you put up the plot? Somebody just commented the plot is not showing.
The plot?
Yeah, it's not up on the feed.
I'm sorry, I didn't switch. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, there. Yeah, so you can see there's more contention in there. You've got those 4 horses in quadrant 1 above the par line, and then even the 6 moves up above the par line as well. A horse that was coming out of a sprint race and coming out of those 1-turn miles at Gulfstream Park. So the pace should be honest for the 2.
Yeah, and you got you got 3 horses coming off extended layoffs. So I typically don't like at this level these kinds of horses. Usually need. You got one of them was a Golden Gate horse. So
I gave a look to that 5 because there was some back things to like about the horse, and then with intent, if I have the right number. Yeah, the last race, he's coming a horse that's coming off the layoff. So even though he is a Golden Gate horse, he's actually run on this circuit in the past. It's a barn change coming off the layoff. It's another horse that was entered to run for 16,000 on opening day. So just in terms of like intent, right? They have this horse ready to go off the layoff. They were willing to run him for 16, couldn't go into the race. Seems like, the horse is ready to run, and they'll run the horse for 8 because they think they have a live horse. So that was my case. That was my case for the 5.
Or they have a dead horse. I mean, they try to get him back, and then, so he's got a 2.
Well,
he's vet scratch, and that was January. And in July, he was another vet. We don't know.
No, he was an AE, and that July 22nd, he was an AE.
All right. Well, that's not a horse I'm particularly, but I could see.
Yeah.
You kind of using them, but I mean, I think the horse for me to build around the ticket would be the 2, and I would go. For we didn't talk much about the 3. Kind of plots pretty well. Is he a horse that is going to be part of a contentious pace? What's the deal with him, Emily? Could he stalk this pace?
I mean, the 3 is certainly capable. It's another Miller horse. Where you're kind of thinking that the 5 is like ouchy. Yeah. The 3 kind of has that ouchiness to me, where he's had a lot of layoff lines before that long layoff, coming back in April. Now he's back at 53 days. He's already kind of at the bottom. Yeah, I mean, the horse is capable. I just thought, he's probably going to be a short price in here. And let me see. Yeah, just he's the morning line favorite. So I just was like, not just in terms of price. I just wanted to go with some others, but that horse is certainly capable.
So you said you used the 2 and the 5. Anyone else?
That's what I used in the pick 5.
Okay. All right, that sounds reasonable to me. Okay, moving on to moving right along. This is a maiden climb at 20,000 level. I mean, just on the plot, the 4 looks pretty good. I guess they dropped him last time. Was the last time he was supposed to win or what? I don't know, but
that was kind of what I was thinking. I mean, and not even if he was supposed to win, at least he was supposed to move up, and he still ran a C plus.
Right.
So I just didn't like that. But looks good on the plot. I mean, again, it's another horse that's, certainly capable. I just, you just expected he was going to move up last time and
Right.
didn't move up on the class drop. I gave a look to the 2.
Yeah.
This is a horse that debuted at this level. He's coming off a layoff. I watched the works. I think that, the horse looks like they have him back in the right spot and he's at the right level. Just, again, it's like another just kind of intent horse. And then there was a couple others. The thing is, like, the 9 also looks good on the plot. And the 9 has had a lot of chances, but the 9 does have a race here where he actually hit the wire first.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I know these connections do want to win here. So maybe of those 2, at least there's some faster races on the 9 to drop back to. Showed a little bit more speed last out.
This is really you see how well below the par line? Seems like you see what I'm saying? The par line is way up here, and the par line is kind of what the average.
Yeah.
So this kind of makes me think this race is a little bit more chaotic. What about the 6 and the 12? Since the fact that they're forward, any idea, any look on those 2? I know they run
Which numbers?
but they're dropping. The 6 and
Which
the 12.
ones?
6 and 12.
Well, the 6, I mean, the 6 is more of a lateral move because it's coming, kind of state bred, and he was running at Los Alamitos.
Okay.
I mean, the 12, kind of the same thing. I mean, it's a bunch of C's. Yeah, I mean, there's the 1 is a Bob Baffert horse. It's a first-time starter. I mean, he's probably going to show speed, but I was trying to be as nice as possible describing this horse. He's like a very ugly mover, very inefficient.
For this level for Bob Baffert.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, things have not gone as expected. And he's shown to break slow as well. So even though he has the rail and they're probably going to want to show speed, he could be a slog as well. And then I think the 7 was the other horse that I'm like, maybe I could kind of get there. In kind of an alternative. I mean, his numbers are basically, they're not far off.
Right.
I don't know.
It's almost
but
like this.
I kind of win. I feel that the 2 could win this race. That if the 2 is back where they think he's going to win, he's coming off the layoff, the 2 is going to be the horse. If it's not, it's anybody, honestly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe the way to play this is, you got a similar opinion in the other races, and you can single down or cut down on some of the other races. You go really deep here, or you just single the 2 into another ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, like, I guess people call it A, B, C. This would be an A horse, and maybe there's, the rest of the field with the exception, because I wouldn't include the 1 at this point. I think the rest of the field would be a C or something, and then you take your shot. Yeah, I like that approach. I think that's right. I'm so upset at myself because I must have did so. I know I was hurrying to throw this trash out because the garbage man coming. I think I dumped my notes. Oh, this was the race I thought I liked the Peter Miller in this race actually. And the reason why is just because of the plot. When I see a plot like this, Emily, I just think, I know it's plot is red, but there's such light contention in here. The 8's kind of a need the lead horse. I think the 4 could stalk, and there's just not much pace in here. So I think he may be able to just stalk the 8 around the track and win. That was the way my thinking was.
Yeah, I can't argue. There was a main scratch of one of the other speed horses in here. That kind of changed it a little bit. So I think you kind of have to adjust and probably upgrade those horses in this scenario.
And then just maybe, I don't know about the 6 coming off the extended layoff, but you kind of plot.
Yeah.
You may get like one of those suck trips, suck along. Just the weather's it's really gotten bad at Saratoga.
Weather-wise.
They've taken the races off the turf,
Mm.
and the muddy sealed track now. It's
Okay.
just doing that typical Saratoga where that weather just comes rolling in and just destroys everything. Okay, that's this.
There was a couple of So the 6 for sure. Kind of another one of those horses. I mean, he showed speed in his debut as well. So who knows what?
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. Like if that was like a tactical decision or whatever. But I feel like there was one more. Oh, the one. Maybe more for underneath with the race shape, but there's just some sneaky notes on this horse.
Oh, that's okay. So that's another one that we consider, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And what about the 2? I mean, he's coming off of nearly a 2-year year.
Yeah, because they had a setup.
All right. So we're thinking maybe 1-4-6 here. Is that would cover us? You think? Or you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So go on to race 5. This is called speed handicapping at its best with Optix. Okay. 3-1 here. 1-3. I know. Just looking at the plot. I mean, that's the way we go, right?
Yeah. There's 2. Well, actually, it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit trickier because actually, maybe this is one of the races that I sent you, but there's the 2 Baffert horses that are actually the 1 and the 5. The 3 has had kind of favorable trips.
Yeah, we get it.
So there's 2 like kind of lightly raced horses, and I think that I have a hard time kind of taking the plot in this scenario because it's that yellow and then it has a fire, and so it does look like the 3 has a pace advantage, but I don't necessarily know if that's the case.
Right.
With with some of these horses like. The 4 coming out of those Gulfstream races, he's been shown to pop. It's Mike Smith, probably going to send, I don't know. And just the 3, I mean, it's had that lone trip that certainly could, but, last out, weak race, draw.
This is tricky. Let's get into the grid and dig in a little bit.
Okay.
Got 7 minutes before race 1.
I think it's just tricky from the plot. I mean, looking at class and speed, it looks like the 2 Baffert horses stand out, in my opinion.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, the one's only got a couple of races here, so it's got a lot more upside, probably. 2 red marks though. Hard last race. I'm given some time though, so that should be okay. 2 looks a little slow, right? Kind of at the bottom end of the range. 3 looks okay. I mean, but like you said, is he going to get what kind of trip he's getting? Even if he gets a lone trip, he could win, but he doesn't run that fast, right? He doesn't have that much of an advantage.
Right.
It looks like you said this last race he was weak. This grade 3 that he comes out of. So
yeah.
4 kind of looks slow, doesn't it? 4 looks slow.
Looks slow.
Yeah. And then the 5 was the other one, right? This horse has potential, right? Because based on those first 2 races at Del Mar, is the other Baffert.
Yeah, coming back off the layoff, going back to 1 turn, getting class relief, getting Lasix.
Yeah. Okay, so you got to include that horse, I would imagine.
And then the 6 looks slow as well. The 6 is like another horse. It's like they have to send.
Yeah, so you got the 3 possibly, but what did we say? The 1 and the 5. You said that, yeah. Not exciting, right? Because you're not going to get much in the way of value there.
Yeah.
So anyway, I would you include the 3? I don't know how to play this.
I didn't include the 3 because I mean I just I have to kind of make a decision. And
yeah. So you went 1-5 there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
and I mean, I'm pretty skinny in this sequence because it's like I have some ideas, but not a lot of confidence. You know what I mean? And and it's more like I'm trying to play against certain horses that I think are going to get more attention than others, and maybe in some of those creative spots. And if I get lucky, it'll all come together. And if it doesn't, then I'm I'm okay with not hitting it if it chalks out.
Sure. This is the. Unfortunately, I didn't have this up when we were talking about it. So this is the plot for race 1. Emily and I were talking about the kind of the 2 and the 5 who got on the plot. They're forward, they're squares. We got a little iffy on the 8, but the 7 was the other horse that we thought might have a chance here at a price. He's 16-1. So, and the 5 is currently a 2-1 favorite, while the 7 is 7-2, and the 8 is 6-1 is to the gate.
And then Saratoga is what, 10 minutes out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's watch this.
7 minutes out. Okay.
Yeah. Which is, I think there's an outstanding. I don't know what's going to happen now with the if they're off the turf, but I mean there was a standout in that race before that.
In the 8th race. Well, the 8th race is on the main track already.
Yeah, I know they switched it just now. I think, right? Or was it always?
It was always, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think there's a standout there. I think it's the Chad Brown horse.
The 4.
Yeah, I think so. There was a couple horses though underneath. I thought could be interesting, and thought the 3 and the 7 had a little bit of a look. Did you look at this race at all, Emily?
I'm looking at it right as we speak.
Yeah. So I just thought, especially with the weather the way it is, if the 3 can be forward in this race, 4 looks good. The other horse I thought was a little bit interesting, even though he doesn't plot as well as the 7.
What about the 9?
9.
I mean, that best race is on an off track.
Yeah. Well, yeah, things have changed now, so maybe we're gonna look at that race.
I mean, not for he's a stretch to beat, but that 90 does. I mean, it is. Who knows?
You're gonna have to be forward on this track now, though. That's my problem with him.
Well, the thing is with the 9 is the horse could maybe be closer to the pace because a lot of those races were shorter, and then that most recent race was on the turf.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. Like, now they're taking the blinkers off. It's like it looks like there could be some tactical change. Look in the 8th race, not the 9th race for the 9.
No. I think I got these two things confused in my mind. Too many races, too many things.
Well, while we're pulling that up and going to post, if you guys are watching on the live stream, you're more than welcome to jump in the chat. And it helps us out too if you hit that like button, because it just, promotes it more, and it lets us know that people are actually watching this, so we feel like we're going to keep doing it, not just talking to ourselves and all that. So it does help. So if you can, thank you for doing so. Yeah, this horse here, right?
Yeah, he's got some sneaky tricks here,
Yeah, it's kind of a lightly raced horse, and
I thought about him too. He did run that good race. He ran a good race in the mud twice.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
This was okay. I guess this wasn't as good, but that was, broke his maiden there. Ran a B+ actually. I don't know about this.
But I mean, it just seemed like, last time out with that turf race, I don't know if they just wanted to get the horse some stamina, but they entered to run main track only. So it just didn't seem like last time out they were wanting to run on the turf. He was in the 11th post. Right. You know what I mean? And then they come back here. John Velasquez stays. They take the blinkers off. It just could be one of those horses that at least they're trying for you
Yeah.
know.
My only problem is horse he's got no speed. That's my problem. Yeah, I
Well,
mean, coming out a little shorter, but still he's got no tactical
yeah,
speed. Yeah.
yeah.
So, but let me see. I thought the 7 was a price horse that I thought looked a little interesting. I don't know why. Yeah, I just thought he was
Definitely
getting.
has more speed. That's for sure.
Yeah, and he's getting back to dirt. Last 2 races were kind of turf. Last race, he was in the same spot as the horse that almost won. So I mean, I don't know. I just thought maybe to switch back to the
In the gate at Del Mar,
in the gate.
they're off.
3 made a pretty easy lead. 2 let him. 5 is stalking.
Do you want to put the plot up for this?
Yeah.
The 9 is pushing. Man, it's pretty much as it's designed
Yeah.
on the plot. Because the 3 is the lone E.
I mean, the 2 should win this race. I mean,
the two and the 5 are stalking kind of right behind. The 6 has a ton of run behind that pair.
who has time? He hasn't asked this horse at all yet. It's just that he's got to get us seen. Here he goes. There, he's got to see. He's got to change leads. Well, they let this 3 go for an easy lead, man.
Yeah.
They just let him go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now back to what I was saying about Miller. A lot of his horses, they're running seconds and thirds. Just.
Well, I mean, that was his tactics. I don't know. 5 furlong race. That guy was running 2 like he's running a mile and a quarter. Where you got out of the gate. Well, yeah, almost like he was giving the horse a race or something. I don't know. The 5 furlong races, for the most part, won out of the gate. At Del Mar and Coldstream. Those races won out of the gate. The 4 ran okay. I mean, he's kind of against the flow, isn't he? He did okay. He got 3rd.
Yeah.
Watch a replay of that race. I just think I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's extremely slow. That fractions for
Yeah.
sprint and this course.
5 furlong race, 45, 55.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Almost 46. Stupid. Chess coming in. The 4 in race 8 at Saratoga. Yeah, seems like the most likely. What we are trying to discuss in this race at Saratoga was what kind of horses to play around with that 4. But the 4 seems legit.
Yeah, I thought the 3 had a little look. 7, Emily. I don't like the 9, but she mentioned the 9. Yeah, I just think at this point in time, you want to be forward on this track.
Is there a scratch?
Looks like the 2. I mean, I'm just looking at the jockeys off the 2. So
yeah, it's a 2. 20-1.
yeah, I just think the 3's nice. It's a little square on surface and distance, and he's here. 27-1. I think that's. Value in this race. Rosario may go with this 5 too. I just don't.
I did have a question about a red keyword I see often. For example, race 9 at Toga, the 5 has a hard keyword, 2 races back, and still won that race.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean a horse is going to lose the race. Which race? Where is it hard?
It was the 9th race at Saratoga. Let's look at that.
I'm on the 9th race.
Okay, what horse had a hard?
You had a hard lead. That's different than a hard. Hard's red. Was the horse scratched? Maybe.
The 5 had a hard key. Oh, the 5 is out. Wait.
5's not running. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's why. Maybe that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look at where that.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, the point is that we just think the race potentially could take something out of the horse. Maybe if the horse ran an improved effort, or the horse was in the right spot the next time. It all depends. But just think that the way we're visually seeing the race is that the race could potentially take something out of the horse just because it was a tough race on the horse. Horse had to really work to do what he did in that race, and so that's not necessarily mean the horse going to lose. If they're given some time in between races too, I don't know. I don't have the PP now that this horse is.
I'm pulling out the PP right now. I have so many fucking windows. What am I doing? All right, here we go. 6:30 race 8.
They're in the gate. They're getting in the gate. I think the 4 looks good here. I think I'm looking for the 3 or 7 now. Well, the 3 especially got runners on it. Maybe get in the try or something. I'll just watch that replay of the 2. It's just sickening. That's how he came out of that gate. Came out of the gate fine, just didn't push. Yeah. Whatever.
The other thing, and I noticed this last year, and it seems to be the other trend in play, is that the inside is very good at Del Mar again.
Oh, it is? Okay. At the turf,
Yeah.
you mean? On the turf?
Yeah. Because like the three was inside, the 2 was inside, the 4 was inside.
They were off at Saratoga. And the 2 didn't change leads either. Never changed leads.
Yeah.
Just leaning on that level. So the 5 is, the 5 went out with the 3. 3 setting the pace, quick quarter. 4 sitting the trip. Just 4 looks deadly right there at this point. Stalk and pounce. That 3 is getting no breathers from the 5. 3's done. Four just made the lead and got the 1 right on his hip.
Here comes my 9.
Well,
Get up in there, 9.
he's
Come
gonna
on.
get. Did you play the exacta?
Yeah.
Get up.
Come on.
Nice.
Hey.
Hercules.
Hey.
Hercules. Good call.
Hey, good notes. I didn't do it. I looked at it for 10 seconds.
Yeah. I did single before my multi races there, so I'm still going.
Yeah, that horse looked like a cinch.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far
I mean, he got
as
the trip just like the plot said. It's like, which is, the plot.
yeah.
The plot is passed, but still, he could project it. Definitely projected that race.
Mhm.
So, would you want to talk about race 9? Because I thought it was a little interesting. Saratoga, you want to talk about race 2?
Yes, but real quick, I'll talk about that horse that is the hard
Oh, yeah,
keyword.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so the horse, just in terms of the form cycle, came off the layoff on April 23rd and ran a B race and second place finish with a B race. And then the race that he recorded, the hard, was 27 days later. It was a B plus. So B plus typically means like the horse can step up in class. The horse is wide, no cover, hard, and just won by 6 lengths, but had to battle a loose horse. So you won't see that in the running lines, right? So that's a really good note. But then when the horse came back and won, did have a 41-day break.
Yeah, okay.
And then was able to save ground in Tactics Plus. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And what was the figure? The figure was better or worse?
Well, the figure was better, but it's for what it's worth. I mean, he's running at 10 and 11 furlongs. So take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I just don't trust figures at those distances.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it went from like he broke his maiden at an 82 Optix figure at 10 furlongs over a good, and then 11 furlongs over firm, and earned a 96. So grain of salt.
Yeah. Okay. I hope that explained. That was good. Good explanation, Emily. So I did
Got
this.
it. 4.9 box. Boom. Nice, Bob. Excellent. Well done.
Wow. You did better than my 2 runners, but who's some alive in the multis? Got 3 legs. Oh, we got 3 legs to go. 10, 9, and 10. 2 legs. 2 legs to go. Okay. I spread in this race coming up a little bit, a lot of it, but this is off the turf, so I don't even know now. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
I mean, I handicapped this for the turf, so I mean.
So you have it all.
Is that what they do now?
Isn't that what it is? I mean, if they took it off the turf before your ticket was in, isn't that how it works?
So that'd be like if the last race is off the turf too, right? So that's it. Is the last race off the turf?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was before, right? Isn't that how it works?
What are you going to get? A triple? Pick 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, do you want to look at the second at Del Mar? Go through that real quick? Okay.
That's disappointing. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that kids and the other thing is like the sun is out 2 seconds left. It's just typical Saratoga.
Hold on before we go on. Just to cover the bases as far as the hard keyword, because this is a tricky keyword. There is a difference between hard and regress. So
yes.
when we're thinking of hard, I'm trying to like use like a metaphor for this, but like, let's say you haven't like worked out for a while and you jump in a CrossFit class and you hit it like your 16-year-old high school football hero, and you are 34 years old, and you haven't worked out in a while, but like you hit it like you're that young teen. That workout is going to take a lot out of you. You might have done really well in that workout, but it's going to take you extra time to recover from it. Okay. That's what we're saying when we're doing like a hard. Using kind of that same metaphor, let's say you are working out a lot, you're doing a lot of CrossFit, and then you hit a PR, right? You do a workout faster, you do a 2-minute Fran, right? That's one of the CrossFit workouts, right? That's like a good benchmark. You finally hit it. You've been working towards it and you did it, and you were kind of all out to do it, but you trained yourself up to it. You might be able to recover to come back and work out, the next day after that, but you might struggle to do that one workout in under 2 minutes again. Okay. Yes. That's the difference between the regress and the hard, is it really comes down to like recovery and being able to like repeat a top effort. Okay. So those two.
Excellent. Yeah. And just so you know, why do we make them red and green and all the rest? And some of them are not. Well, we actually analyze these things on a regular basis, and determination is like how the horses come back, how they improve, if they're do they win, do they finish in the money, do they improve on their speed figure. So we look at all those factors and determine which keywords get the red and green. So a red obviously means they're going they're going to have a negative impact. Red, green, positive, and in some cases, there's some of those keywords. There's actually one in particular over the last 3 years has a positive ROI, just betting that keyword. So I'm not going to tell everybody, So, but it's one of those that has a positive ROI for every bet you make. So that would tell me that the quality of these keywords is pretty good. And we spent a lot of time analyzing them. You could tell just listening to Emily describe this, right? This goes a lot of effort into assigning those keywords and doing the job and doing it thoroughly. And again, that's what we think that's our special sauce, so to speak.
Yeah. I think that's like the most nuanced, tricky, most important thing that we can do. Okay. Now we can move onward if you like.
Just so you know, that green keyword that I didn't mention, if you go back and if you have Optix notes, the 9 had a lot in his past performances of that keyword. So
yeah.
Kind of more than once.
Okay. The second race, the 6 is currently favored. I think that's kind of a bad favorite, to be honest.
Yeah. The trouble last time shuffled back. That was a Gullikson.
Trouble minus.
Yeah, this is that's not in trouble. This with Gullikson, you got to realize this time of the year, this is not the winter, and the quality. Now, I'm not following Southern Cal all that much. So I don't know the quality, but the quality of Gullikson this time of the year is not the quality of Gullikson in the winter. It's a big difference. So you got to keep that in mind too. So.
Well, the race that this horse, if you kind of excuse that last race where he had traffic, trouble minus, and shuffle, he ran well in the 2 kind of races prior to that. And that was like a $26,000, $28,000 purse. I guess that lines up with today. So, I mean, it could be a lateral move. Yeah.
But that was a seed still. I mean, even though, I gave him the trouble and stuff, I still getting a seed. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a very big difference today versus those Gulfstream races, though. This is a 2-turn race. This is not a 1-turn race like Gulfstream.
Oh, okay. So his last race was a sprint anyway, but yeah.
Last race is a sprint, but even those mile races are, this is the first time this horse has ever gone 2 turns.
Right, and I don't like 1-turn horses that look like closers, on the plot too. Going to 2-turn races, I don't like that.
Yeah. This is like a big plot mismatch because even on standard, he's above the par line, which says he's going to kind of get hooked up with that first flight.
Right.
But then the surface and distance is a closer, so I mean, there's a lot of knocks.
Because that pulls the sprint race in there. That's why.
Yeah. It's kind of a knock. The 3, as we're talking, they must have been listening to us because the 3 just became the favorite. So we can knock that horse next. Yeah.
So we'll just trying to recall. So who were we on when we first looked at this race? I'm trying to think.
The 2.
The 2 was the horse, right? Steve, yeah, of course, yeah. That's the one I like still. 7-2, a little short, but. I don't know. The other horse that you mentioned, Emily, I think was the 5, right?
That's correct.
He's a big price. So it was 2 and 5, I think we were talking about in this race.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What about the 3? Let's look at the 3. I'm just going to hover over this again. Stalked by wind planes, eased up in the stretch. I don't know.
I feel this is the thing with a 3 is he is who he is at this point. He's already at the bottom. He has those recent layoffs. He's coming back with the 53-day break. They have the 10-pound apprentice aboard. Seems like they're going to just send this horse.
Sure.
And they're going to try to send this horse, and they're going to send this horse into a pace that could be fast. Maybe he's best.
Yeah.
Maybe he wins, but maybe not.
Yeah, I still think this race sets up for the 2 nicely. I think you're right. I think the 1's going to go. I think 7's got to go. 3's going to go. There should be enough pace up there. Maybe the 2 can kind of sit the rail behind the. Maybe
I just don't really understand the 5 being in quadrant 1. He doesn't look like a quadrant 1 horse to me. He's coming out of those Gulfstream races, so it's hard to tell. And a lot of his form as a sophomore. So, but his running style to me.
Golden Gate.
What did I just say? Gulfstream? Yeah, Golden Gate. It's not a horse that's like, his running style is PC. So I just think the plot is taking information from Golden Gate.
Well,
that isn't necessarily this horse's running style.
Yeah, what you have is a lot of horses who are just running like in and out too.
Yeah.
That makes it difficult, right? And so he's just higher on the second call in his races. I don't know, maybe he's just coming out of faster mid pace races. He's not fast to the first call, really. I mean, he's in the mix, but he's still not there.
Right.
So yeah, I just think sometimes with these, claiming types, you got to be careful because they go in and out of form, right? They're not very consistent. So it's just like when you look at their form on the grid or whatever you're looking at on past performances, they run a good race, bad race. That kind of gets reflected in the plot too. So, because it's hard, you're like, I don't know, it's hard. You got to figure out where this horse is in their form cycle. And I just think the 2's kind of. I thought when I handicapped this, I thought he looked pretty good in terms of form cycle. I thought he was the horse that I thought was coming into this race probably the best in terms of form cycle. Let me see if he's. Yeah, he had a green keyword, 2 back. Yeah, that better than look effort. Running against better, that was at Turf Paradise. That's 2 turns, by the way. Yeah, he's just been pretty consistent. How's he working? I mean, do you have anything on? I don't really, with these claimers, I don't really care about works because they
the
don't.
2?
Yeah.
No, because he ran so recently. I don't
Yeah,
think.
The good thing is he's run well and he's got good spacing.
Yeah.
I guess he switched Barnes 3 back. I mean, look at his back numbers too. I mean, this horse looks like at Del Mar. Look at his 2 races done 90, 89, 84, 91. He ran at Belmont. This horse has been all over the place. His 89 at Del Mar, he got kicked back, and he's still. And that was. I mean, that's going back, but this horse has back class too, right? I just think I like this. The spacing's good. He's got back class. He's got pretty good form. Should set a pretty good trip. Get some speed in front of him. I just think he kind of went off form a little bit when he switched barns. He was in the Mets. He was coming out of the Mullins barn into this other barn. I think with Knapp, he's coming back to his old form here. So, yeah. Not a bargain at 3-1 though. Hard race to bet unless you're maybe playing the pick 4s or something you want to.
I mean, even that's what I'm looking at right now. Like, it's not the best sequence for multi-race right now.
No, it isn't. It really isn't.
No.
Because you got the 5th leg is going to be probably everyone's going to be on the 2 Baffords, so no value there.
Right, and then the 3 could win.
Right.
So you're like, it's hard to just like sort of have some confidence. And the 3 knocked me out in the first leg, and I mean, whatever.
Yeah. Did you watch that race again? Did you see how he like?
Yeah.
What you think? You think I thought he could put more pressure. I mean, I don't know why.
No, they could have easily put a lot more pressure. That goes without saying.
Yeah. I just think in those 5 furlong races, if you're not aggressive, it's hard to win. You could be. It's not like you have to worry about the horse getting caught. From a deep. It just doesn't happen in those races. Those races are over before they start. Well, that,
No, and that's the thing is like typically those Miller horses, to what I was saying earlier, they'll when they're live, right?
yeah,
They're out of that gate showing speed. They are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like in the race, like right from the start. They've just kind of been like those type of trips, you know. I got caught in the mix and missed the first race at Woodbine. And my horse did not run well. I'm trying to figure out what the heck happened. Just no good, this horse.
Woodbine's a tough track. You know,
I could say that again.
Yeah. So we got a bunch
It's
of
such a, yeah.
got a bunch of comments. You know, so boom, Emily. Oh, you look at these already, Emily?
Yeah.
How do you determine the speed and closers in your quads? Speed. Oh, quadrant 1 is typically the speed horses. Horses can be full over the place. Could be a little bit quadrant 3, but mostly quadrant 1 of the speed horse. Closers could come from quadrants 2 or 4. Typically, deep closers are 4, and you want those closers to have squares if they're running in those quadrants, because squares are best closer in the race, you know, relative to the other horses in the field.
It's two questions with two different answers, right? Because you have positional, right? You have like early speed, like horses that are going to be on the like run style, right? Like if that question is referring to like how do you determine the speed and closers in your quads? Like if you're talking like run style, right? Like first call speed, closers off the pace speed. But then there's also closing ability within those positions. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
Let's see. Let me see. Did you go through all these, Emily?
I think so.
What?
No, I missed a few. I didn't see the question for you. Do you ever check how horses perform the quad they're running? Yeah, that one.
Do you ever check to see how horses perform the quad? Like you mean just like how from a track profile perspective, like how a quad is performing? Is that what you mean, Bob?
I think that's what he's asking, because you've put up like that in a video before where you've done like the profile like squares.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it during the race, you know, like see where horses are coming from, try to get a sense if there's some kind of bias. I'll look at the quad percentage, like right, we've seen it, you know. That tells you kind of the profile too. So in this race, you know, I would say from you know, and this is obvious, the 3 is a big square in quadrant 1, so you know, he looks good. Yeah, I guess I don't know if I answered that, but that's that. Okay. Oh, okay, thank you. So this person said that they do races thing on there, you get all. Okay, so I'm done, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever, I hit a couple of things. Probably get 10 cents. At least I get my money back.
Is the plot adjusted when the races are taken off the turf? Yes. We can see that. We can pull up race 9 at Saratoga if you want to demonstrate that. We don't have a before, but we have the after where it's updated with the scratches.
I don't know. Did the scratches run? Sometimes it's we're going to improve on that.
They did run.
Yeah, you see it now. Yeah, we're going to improve all that, like how quickly the PPs come up, how quick scratches are done. We're rewriting some of the back end stuff to do this faster. So, but yeah, there it is. Terrific, isn't it? I mean, that's a handicap. It's got to be interactive. You have to have it updated. That's the biggest problem I had, and that's why we kind of developed some of these things, is because of you know, a lot of stuff was static in racing. A lot of information that you receive was static, and things change during the day, right? So I try to do a little bit of that with focus, but I just can't keep up with it. I mean, especially at Saratoga, it's just crazy. I mean, the scratches that happen, and then the weather that comes in, it's just almost impossible to keep up.
No, I mean, and it's we've talked about this before, and we've done it lot. I mean, doing this live shows you that when you have the information, you have the good information in front of you. The only other thing that you need is you need the board, and that's it.
Right.
You look at the board, and then you're making decisions. It's like having the focus is good. Oh, this horse might win at Woodbine. Go with the 6. Now that first race stings a little bit more.
So we're going to the gate at Del Mar. So
7-1 winner. # bet Woodbine TV. By the way.
Hercules. Okay. They're all
Takes-
five broke poorly. Two's going to get the pretty good trip in behind the first flight there. They're going at a 3. Oh. One just came up on the inside of the 2. Put him in some traffic there. 1 and 2. The 1 and 2 are a little bit of traffic. Got a good pace up front, Emily. 3, 4, 6. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I thought that's what they do on that 3. It was like send with that apprentice.
Now they're trying to slow it down. They're all bunched up.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 looks good. I just think it's going to be a matter of getting somewhere to run. 5 is caught wide. 6 is caught wide. Six is in a good spot.
I think the 2, they tried to take the 2 out of his running style, and that was that. They didn't have a plot. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so a 6
Gulfstream
okay.
form.
Yeah.
I guess Gulfstream form's okay. At Del Mar.
Well, when their horses are placed properly, that horse is placed properly. Yeah, I mean, the 2 just can't get a trip.
They're pretty deadly together, Maldonado and Hess.
Well, yeah, that's Hess's first winner this meet. That he's been kind of crappy.
With Maldonado.
Yeah, just in general. Yeah, I've been following trends.
Look at the 2 with Gallup out.
I know.
Right?
See, that's the thing. Like with the 2, because of the previous trips, they're like, well, let's keep him closer to the pace, right? And then he kind of got in that traffic, right? He was like behind him between horses and kept a little bit closer to that pace that was contested. And then once he got into the clear, once they kind of, the other horses dropped back because they're tired, and he got some like breathing room. He moved up the inside. It's just not. That wasn't. These horses, like you mentioned, so they're cheaper horses. It's like they needed everything like perfection. they need the best horse for perfection.
Even going into the first turn, instead of getting the rail, he let the 1 come up on the inside. He should just drop right into the rail. He let the 1 come up on the rail and kind of bump him. It looked like he bumped him almost. It looked like something. But then he got into like a vice after that. Just better off just be able to get, you got to get that position early on the inside because he had that 1 kind of bother him on the inside of him. Didn't get a relaxed trip. Ran on well, though. I mean, really galloped out the best. So what about Saratoga here? One thing I like to do when we get this is kind of do, let's see. I'm going to look for dirt off the turf. I'm going to just sort by speed figure and see what this comes up with. Let's look in the last, let's not look too far, 180 degrees. Okay. At least on speed figures, it looks like the 1A and the 11. If it's a dirt or off the dirt. And looks like the 1A and the 11. Looks like the 1 handles the off. Well, both the 1 and 1A have been able to do it on off tracks too. So I don't know if that does anything, but I like the 2 going into this race. It was on the turf, but I'm I'm a little surprised he's 2-1. Kind of a short price on it too. He's got some dirt form here, but I expect this horse to be 2-1. Yeah, it was this. This was a kind of a second. I think this. Oh, the reason I like this horse, Emily, was kind of a repeat pattern a little bit. Kind of last time was second off. It wasn't kind of the same thing, but I assume this race is. Is this race going to stay 11 furlongs or no?
It's crazy we have to ask this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, why? Like, that should be a no-brainer. Like, of course it is. But it's like, it could be 7 furlongs, right? Like, honestly.
I think it's going to be probably 9 furlongs. I don't think they'd run. Oh, they run a mile and a quarter. They run a mile. Maybe it's a mile and a quarter. Maybe it'll be a mile and a quarter, right? Because they could run they run the Travers at a mile and a quarter. My guess it'll be 10 furlongs, not 11. Because if it's 11, I think they would have to start on a turn or something. That would be. Well, if anyone knows, I mean, I probably could look at. I don't know what I can do. I can just look at Naira. See what they change it to. If they change it, changes. Okay, this is race 9. So they don't say anything on the changes on on the Naira website. You say off the turf, and at least I don't see it. Okay. If anyone knows, let us know. I think we'll know.
Can anyone in the chat let us know? Seeing 10 furlongs. Okay.
It is. Okay, mile
10 furlongs.
So they'll start.
Thank you. Thank you, chat. Awesome.
We'll start at the top of the stretch, I guess, and it'll be like the Travers. So Nest looked pretty good last week, I thought. Just took it this secret oath, didn't she? She's so big, man, compared to those other fillies. Just like towers over.
But what about Clairiere?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about it. I mean, I was more impressed with Ness's race, actually. It was because Clairiere, they did that race. It was like, they all went slow. It was bunched up. It was like a turf, like it was turf race. Yeah, she showed a good turn of foot. She got traffic, whatever. But Ness went through like middle race fractions that were like blistering and came home at the same time. Like she came home slower, don't get me wrong. But the middle part of that race was tough. It's just what she had to do. And then they didn't really push on her late. I thought she showed a lot of class. I didn't, I don't know. Yeah, it should be good.
Oh, you were there. You were there. Awesome to see that Nest performance in person. Yeah, what was that like? Were people like going nuts? Yeah, she was good. Nest was very good. Do you see that comment?
No, I didn't see it.
Awesome to see Nest performance in person.
Oh, nice. That's cool. I remember the first time I was a secretary when it was the Gotham. First time I ever seen him. It was like, I mean, live. It was incredible. Incredible. One of the best races I ever seen was the Breeders' Cup with his now. 9/11, the year 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
I thought that was just an incredible race. Just so much grit. He was a really nice horse. I really liked him. That was some exacta too. You had the ARC winner and him, and it paid like I forgot like $100. I forgot what it was. It was ridiculous, whatever it was. Horse of the year and the ARC winner. You know, they were like 6 and 8 to 1 or something. It's like, okay. So the 8. Oh yeah. See, yeah, okay, yeah. I loved it. I would have loved this race on the turf. I thought the 8 had a look as lone. I liked the 2.
So the 2 could still get that trip. Got like inside out. It's taking the lead like right now.
Yeah, he's gonna win easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
This kills me, man, because I mean, I you know, I think he floated too a little bit, Emily. I don't think he went off the favorite.
It was 2 to 1, so I don't know. Somebody could have been shorter. Maybe the 1, maybe the entry was shorter.
Did he go 2? I thought he floated a little bit.
No, went off as the favorite.
Shit.
I mean, it doesn't matter now.
No, I know it doesn't matter. No, I played the late picks. I had a good opinion. I had that 2 in the was it the 6 rounds? I forgot what it was. That was a nice. It was on the turf. The horse made a good inside move. Showed a little great. I mean, it was a great ride by Gaffalione. I mean, really great ride. But the horse showed courage because sometimes those horses don't want to go into those tight spaces, and he did. He just kind of went bowled his way through.
Well, I learned after the Derby, never say Tyler Gaffalione gave a bad ride. Because he'll show up in your DMs and let you know that you're not a jockey. I said, no, sir, I am not a jockey. I like dessert.
Yeah.
But I also said your ride was bad, and you have to admit it.
We
had a good opinion. Okay.
The 9 had traffic in that race. He had nowhere to go. It looked like he might have got some kickback too.
Probably a turf horse. There was one horse that was coming through the stretch. I forget who it was, but I was like that. I looked at that horse and was like, that horse looks like turf! Exclamation point.
Oh, okay. Do I remember? Yeah. Oh yeah. You know who's Marlboro Cup? I mean, yeah, I was there actually for that race. I was there for a lot of these races before going around. One of the most impressive Marlboro Cups was a spectacular bit, just demolished him. And then he lost to a firm in the Jockey Club Gold Cup that year. So that was a good race.
So what was who did Forgo face in the Marlboro Cup? Do you remember when we could name things the Marlboro Cup?
Yeah, I know. Marlboro Man.
Yeah.
I was that. I'm trying to think. Was that the Honest Pleasure race, Darren? Honest Pleasure.
So that was what, 1980?
80, no, 70s. Must have been 76 or 77.
Oh.
Probably 1976.
One thing I like to use is the class competition and look at auction price for the maiden races. I tell you, I don't like the auction price for maiden races because a lot of people like that angle, and maybe it works out for them, but that would mean that you're trusting the buyers to know what they're looking at, and in my opinion, we see more often than not horses that sell for a lot of money that aren't very good. Occasionally they get one that's good, but like, why would this, oh, okay, so you're going the opposite. Why would this one horse be in a maiden 20 if the auction price towers over the field? So even if you look at this one horse whose auction price, that was like when the horse was like a yearling or a 2-year-old, and I think this horse is debuting at 4. I don't know. Can you pull that up?
Which race? Which horse?
So this is Del Mar race 3. We're looking at the one horse. This is this horse for Baffert. And to me, I mean, I think it's fine, but like I looked at this horse and I think this horse has like the worst action of any horse in this race. Like completely inefficient. Like if somebody like asked my opinion, should I claim this horse? I would say, do not touch this horse. This horse can certainly win, but there's a reason why it took this horse.
So forever. 2 things, just from using the product, 2 things. I mean, you look at class competition, the last bar here is auction price. So you can compare the auction prices. So that's one way to look at things.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, and then the second way, I think, I'm not going to use this horse. I'm not going to go to the next race, but if you just hover over the horse, if the horse has an auction price, it would be in there too. This horse doesn't. Let's go to the 1. Next race. I'll take a little time. Oh, in the meantime, it was 1976, the Marlboro Cup, and I think it was. I think this horse that finished second was Honest Pleasure, who had a tremendous pace advantage, weight advantage in that race. I'm not big on weight, but that was off the charts difference. And does anyone know who won the first Marlboro Cup? Oh, I thought we had the auction price here. We don't. Okay, it's my bad.
That was like a little bit before my time.
Okay, so can someone answer it? Yes.
We can give a few minutes if you want to leave it out as like a trivia.
Okay. It wasn't that. It only started. It started earlier than that, but not much. And it was a limited race. It only went from. It ended in 1987. It wasn't that long. It was a great race. It was when they didn't have the Breeders' Cup. Emily, the fall races in New York were the Breeders' Cups, pretty much.
Just same. I couldn't tell you either. Give 5 choices in a lineup, that would be 20% chance. I'd guess it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it was Secretary.
Oh, we have a guess.
Oh, what they said, Secretary. That's correct. Aaron would know. He was probably there. So the thing is, this race was really written for Secretary to run against older horses for the. Well, he ran against older horses just before that, but he beat his stablemate Reva Ridge in this race. Reva Ridge was a Kentucky Derby winner too, and a Belmont winner actually. So it was stablemate for Secretary, same owner, same trainer. It was one of the more impressive races. In fact, the track record at Belmont for mile 8 still stands today, and was this race.
Oh wow!
Pretty good, right? That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
The horse that's come closest in the last 20 years, believe it or not, was Rachel Alexander. She ran 146. I mean, still didn't get close. I mean, didn't get it within a second, I don't think, but still. You think about Secretary, it's 1.5 miles and 1.8 miles. Not only does he have the record, doesn't broke it, but they don't even get close to it. Right? I mean, like the closest anyone's gotten, like is like 2 seconds, 2 2/5 seconds or something. Amazing. On the 1.5 mile race. Okay, trivia day, huh? All right,
I like it.
They're going to the post at the old Del Mar. Four has the plot.
So the one is.
This was the race where we were like, you know, it's going to be like 2 or something crazy, right? That's how we.
The 2 is 11-1. What
the? Are we missing something? The 4 is not. Okay.
Okay. The 9 is the second choice. Like I can get there. Okay. The 4 is the third choice. It's just like
they're playing this Baffert horse. Okay, I got you. Okay.
But I mean, it's not even like they're playing it like not heavy. I mean, it's heavier than I thought, but
I would bet the bad horse he paid me.
no chance. No chance.
So I mean, I spread as much as I could in this race. Hope for the best. This is this is nothing. There's no pick race. I bet a win bet on the 2 here. What do you think of that? Looks good on the track.
Well, I'm gonna wait because I think that I just feel like these numbers are gonna come in a little bit.
Yeah. Did we look at the doubles on this one? I hit the wrong button on my TV and I got Kelly Clarkson.
Oh jeez.
I
mean, the one is a heavy favorite in the doubles, but the 2 is the second choice.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah, and then
Making a good appearance though, I think.
And then 9, 9, 4, 8. But the 2 is a pretty strong second choice, so I think that horse will come in a little bit. And he is the third. The 2 is the third choice in the pick 3s. The 1 is still pretty heavy in all of those.
I like the 2 and the 6 in here because I think the 6 with the drop, he's going to be forward. Who knows? Let me keep going. Well, Maldonado just won. Maybe he's feeling it. He rides for Bondi. He does pretty good. Bondi usually does pretty good. I mean, I'm dating myself. My Del Mar.
Bondi could have had. He had a very live first-time starter. I believe it was either Saturday or Sunday, and the horse got not a good trip. But that horse is probably well meant to win. So Bondi horses could be firing this meet. Remember, he used to have a lot of horses, and he just doesn't have the numbers anymore.
He had some good horses, fast horses.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good with younger horses.
Yeah,
well,
it just doesn't seem like he has the numbers.
Yeah, because California, I mean, the racing doesn't. I'm surprised one of these guys haven't gone elsewhere. But I don't know. It's hard to just pick up everything and leave. But I just don't know how some of them even make a living in California, especially. It's not an inexpensive place to live and eat.
Nowhere is.
No,
Nowhere's cheap.
No. There's no place where you can hide anymore.
That's why I lived in Arizona for so long because it was so cheap.
I remember
lived
going.
There.
I remember going to, maybe it was 25 years ago. I went to Boise. I said, Kathy, this is a pretty nice place. It's kind of quiet. She goes, yeah, we should look at it. And we just never got there. And it's like, you can't get property in Boise, Idaho anymore. It's like off the charts.
Yeah.
There was nothing there. You had to drive like to Vegas, Nevada to go if you want to go to any kind of shopping, like upscale shopping or like anything. So,
that I don't like.
That all changed. It was nice though. The climate's nice too. It's kind of like Arizona but cooler. The weather.
Did you see Aaron's question? Do you know an answer to that?
Let me see. No. So you tell me there's going to be more aqueduct? Is that what that means? There will be Belmont.
That there won't be Belmont. There will be Belmont at Aqueduct.
Oh, are they going to redo?
No Belmont.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
they're gonna do
they're gonna redo the track or something? Is that what they're doing? I guess they're gonna redo the track. Maybe they're gonna put synthetic in, winterize it. I assume it's a migrate. I mean, they built that stadium in there, so I don't think they're gonna get rid of racing. Announced today. Yes. Okay. Yes means what I said. I guess so. I think that's what they're doing. They're gonna winterize Belmont, so they're gonna redo it, and then so they'll run. Are they gonna run next year then? Do you know the Belmont was not run at the Belmont all the time, right? They had a Belmont Stakes at Aqueduct. Did you know that, Emily?
I didn't.
They were redoing Belmont, and they also had a Belmont Stakes at Forest Park, where I grew up. Where I grew up was a farm initially, but then it converted into a racetrack. So, that was a racetrack. It's called Forest Park Racetrack, and they ran the Belmont there one year because Belmont was being redone. And then there was a Jamaica racetrack, which isn't Aqueduct.
There was another one?
There was another one, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where? Jamaica.
Well, racing was it. That was the only way you get money down in those days.
Yeah.
I mean, even there was no lottery, so even like there used to be what we call bookmakers, and these guys used to take numbers, like used to be like 3 numbers, and they used to use the last 3 numbers in the handle for that day at the racetrack. So that was the number. So you could look in the newspaper and, because it was all illegal. So you could look in the newspaper and know what the number was without it being,
that's my history that you're talking about right there. It's my whole mom's side of the family are those folks.
Those guys, hey, they said they'll be back at Belmont for the stakes. Oh, wow. Oh, so it's
quick.
They're not even. So it's only gonna be like 2 months. Do you know there's a stadium in there now, Emily, where the Islanders play? At Belmont, like they had all that ground around the parking lots and everything. They built it. Well, actually, it's right. I think it's right. I haven't been there yet, but Ron was telling me. I think it's right behind the paddock.
Huh.
There's a.
I mean, I heard of it, but
a sports arena now. So we're 3 minutes. 2 minutes. Race 3. This Baffert just doesn't feel right at all.
I mean, I always think about this, like, what person is looking at this horse being like, give me $500 on the one?
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
Those are people that.
I mean, these horses can win, but like, who's actually like getting down on it? Yeah. So now the 2 is 7-2.
Someone could brag that they won. Do you know? It was the Islanders.
Oh, true.
Do you know there was a famous handicapper who did handicapping horses and everything. He was like a famous guy called Jimmy the Greek. You ever hear of him, Emily?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what he used to do? He used to be at the track and he'd play every horse. And whoever won, he'd scream up and down that he had the horse. Because it was for him, it was all about building his brand, right? Got on TV and then, there's still people like that.
Oh, there's many of those people that are still out there. That's for sure. I have no problem being like, I didn't bet the one and the one won, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Congrats if you had it. I got to.
Today was the first day I really had a profitable day at Saratoga since the meet started, and I had to have 2 races shut down for me to do that. No, it would have been a monster day actually, because I felt good about every horse that was on there.
But, that stinks. Yeah. Yeah, they're just on Twitter now. Exactly. They're just on Twitter now.
Two's really come down there, Emily.
Right.
Yeah.
It was expected.
Whoa, 6 acting up before the race, just tossed a jock. They were going to get behind the gate. Yeah, I like the 6 here a little bit. No, I don't know. I mean, that didn't help things though. Never liked that kind of stuff.
There's a comment about Belmont.
You see Jimmy Greek at OTB. Okay, let's see what's more Park will not be. Spring of 20. That's next year, isn't it?
Next year is 2023.
Oh, the fall meet is. Oh, okay, I got it now. Oh, the fall meet. Okay, I got you. I forgot they have a fall meet. Not that I forgot. I just being me. Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate that. That's good. Boy, these guys got a lot of information.
We get like the smartest people like in this chat.
Oh,
wait, honestly,
we do. You know, I don't know if people follow Sporty Kings. I'm be on their podcast. I think it's next week or the week after for go over the pick 5 at Saratoga. Yeah, on August the 5th. That's next week, right? So if anyone listens to the Sporty Kings, I'll be on there.
Cool.
Yeah, it's usually good. I mean, I like those guys because they don't mind mixing it up a little bit, you know?
Well, last time I was on, they got mad at me. Scott was like, I have to pause the recording. I'm like, okay. He's like, this is the way we do it. I'm like, okay.
Chris doesn't mind mixing it up. Scott's got like his particular way of doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like you and me. I think we always take him off his mojo a little bit.
Well, I mean, I was confused because so like they're having you on to do like the pick 5, right? So your brain goes, I'm going to handicap the pick 5, which is different than handicapping an individual race, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So that's the way they told me. We're going to handicap the pick 5 at Santa Anita, right? So I'm structuring it the way that I'd put together a pick 5. So, we started talking and they're like, well, who's your pick for this race? And I'm thinking like, we're doing a pick 5. Like my pick is, I have to assess how I'm going to approach. Like a pick, like what? And then Scott, we're going to pause the recording. We give a pick and then we come back. Okay. All right. All right, now I know the rules. Okay, hit play. Let's go. I can give picks. We're giving picks. Let's do picks. Cool. Let's go.
One got off terrible.
I said that in the assessment. I've been watching this horse work. As far as his visuals, he's fifth sport at the claiming level. Physically, he's not the most efficient mover and is shown to break slow as well. Be hustled after.
This is going to be the Optix horse is going to win this race.
I mean, the one is showing run.
2 and 4 is going to be. That's what it is. 2 really kicked there.
2, as we said, was like it's two.
It's
2 or
square
anything.
bill. It's fit to be square. You're getting real value in those squares there this race. One got third, wow. But he got off terrible. That was a pretty quick time, decent time for that level, wasn't it? I don't know how fast the track is these days. Oh, so what I did on their show with the pick 5, when I said, what's your strategy for pick 5? Like, when do you know when to play a pick 5? I knew like I was getting like, and they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you try to be 1 favorite, 2 favorites. Do you really like the horse? Like, what's the strategy? Like, do you just play any pick 5? And I don't know if they didn't like that too much. But anyway, it was.
We're never gonna get invited back.
No, we did.
We're the pain in the ass guests.
So I like both those guys actually. Yeah,
I like them too. I think they're great. And like met them in real life, but
Chris is actually is an Optix guy too. So anyway, I feel I come back like I did it once, like I don't know, once in 2020. I guess I do it every year, but I said 2020 I did it for the first time. So last year when I did it, I said, John, hey, I said, oh, it's been a long time. What are you talking about? We never get repeat hosts, repeat guests. So, like I should be honored. I'm saying it's been a long time. He didn't like what I said. It's been a long time. Because what are you talking about? You're like the only repeat guest we had. It's like only about like 3 repeat guests. I'm like, oh, okay. I should feel honored. Sorry.
No. Do you want to go over race 10 at
Saratoga?
Yeah.
Okay, so just so you know, when I handicapped this race, initially I was on the 8, 9, 10. I was on turf.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And 9 and 10 are still in.
Yeah, well, it's off the turf, and the real reason I was going to play the 9 was because of the turf. Because I thought this horse would improve, even though he's slow. I like the 8 the best, actually.
Hold on real quick. Ches,
yeah.
thanks for jumping in. I'm going to pull up your comment so you can catch it. We'll talk about it. We'll catch if you want to catch it on the replay. But thanks for jumping in. Next Thursday, same time, same place. Okay, carry
on. Yeah, so I was looking for this race to go to the turf, and I thought the 9, 8 was the horse was my key, and then I had like 9 and 10 as backups. Just because I thought the 10 ran okay again on turf, ran okay. Just had some trips like wide, no cover, dual, spade, wanted shorter drop. I think he was getting all the things that like he was going to get. But now that we're on this surface, I'm like, I don't know. It's all changed, right? So so I was really geared to turf on this race. We could look at the grid and just kind of. And I just think, when these horses like the 16 comes in, he's probably got some dirt for him.
Is the distance? What's the distance? Is it the same? 5.5.
Yeah, I don't know if they run 5. It'd probably be 6, my guess. I don't think they run 5.5.
Yeah.
So let's just look at the dirt form, very well off the turf. One looks kind of slow number-wise compared to like the 2.
Mm-hmm.
3, there's races off the turf at Tampa. I don't like that. 4 looks pretty slow.
The 2's okay. No, he's coming out of those long races.
He kind of sits, like number 1. 7 looks pretty good. They just take his dirt races. And they're both off-track races are really good. The 9 doesn't look good on dirt, in my opinion. He ran okay that was his race muddy, but you see, I had the turf indicator.
No line.
Yeah. 10, no good on the right. Really, numbers wise, doesn't match up. Yeah, the 16's getting bad, but for me, it's the looks like the 2 and the 7 look like better horses than the 16. Just numbers wise. Just numbers wise.
Let's go back. Look at the 10 real quick. Just can you pull up like the total form, not just the.
I really like this horse if the race stayed on the turf.
Well, here's what I'm. Yeah, I guess if you could take like the right price, the projection being like, did this horse kind of improve as kind of an older horse?
Was it the turf, or was it just getting
needing that race because it looked like that race at the Finger Lakes, even though that race was on the dirt, was like a prep because he came back at Belmont 11 days later, right? So it's like they were just kind of using that 4.5 like as a jumping point, right?
Yeah, it's
so I can kind of excuse that. So if he's improved, as far as like the notes, it's like shorter. He's improved. He's going to be second time for the claiming tag. Had the wide last out. Again, it comes back on short rest. I could get to the 10 if that's the right number. You have it. It's 25 to 1. 25 to 1 if you're taking a stab.
He plots. Standard. He plots as a Q1 square, right?
Yeah.
So you see where I was going, man. I kind of like this horse.
Yeah.
Maybe.
How about,
your point is valid. I was saying was the turf that moved him up. But you may be right. But I just see a horse that goes from $25,000 race to an 80. I know it's state bred and all the rest, but still, it's a better race than the much better race than the Finger Lake race, and he improves dramatically. Even though he runs a C, but I mean that race they spread the race out, right? It was at the wrong level.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, because I just think if it was the I thought it was the turf, maybe it wasn't the turf. It's worth a shot at that price. There's no doubt about it.
Someone's asking about the 3 deregulation.
He's a 4-year-old. I don't know if there's much more upside. He broke his maiden in a perfect trip at Monmouth. It's below this kind of level. Ran at this level last time. Ran a kind of a sub. I would say call that a subpar race. Now he's getting back on dirt. They've never really tried to start this horse on dirt. I mean, they ran him on dirt, off the turf, but they never actually started him on dirt. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a.
Those races were 17,000, 19,000 at
Tampa.
Tampa,
like they're just like well below.
Yeah.
But he did run well. That $50,000 Claimant Open Cup is a pretty good race, for this level.
Right.
His debut was pretty good, but again, those were on the turf. So the other thing about this horse hasn't progressed, because he ran in the 80s, but she hasn't progressed with age. Just see a little bit more improvement. I haven't seen that, so I just think there's maybe some other options. But hey, go for it. Where does he plot? That plot's below here.
Kind of, no man's land.
Yeah.
I'm 13 to 1 if you're taking a stab. Can you pull up that comment about Optix notes? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up.
Add a few. That one.
Yeah.
Wow. Excellent. Good for you.
Oh
yeah. Jess,
notes is a game changer. 100%, it's a game changer.
Yeah, like I said last week on this thing, I have an old-time player said it's a differentiator, right? It's like something that it's like having those keywords, almost like having speed figures when no one had speed figures. That's kind of the way one got off very bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, stop the race. 10 is out in front. This is it, right? So, like, if we talk about, like, handicapping, right? It's like you've got speed, pace, class, form. You have those 4 things, right? So if you have, like, a standard past performance, whatever, Equibase, Brisnet, DRF. Okay, speed. All right, you have the buyers. Fine. Pace, okay, you could look at the fractions. You could do it kind of the old way, how I used to do it. All of us used to just kind of like calculate those fractions. Look at this 10.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good.
It's gonna get caught by this too, maybe, but
No. That was kind of logical.
Those were our horses. 210.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. Oh man.
So okay, so you could do, you could kind of calculate. Yeah. You could kind of calculate the pace, right? It's gonna take you a while, but you could do it. Class, okay, you could look at the running lines and go off finishing positions, be like, okay, this horse won at, allowance level and, things like that. Just go off finishing position for class. Fine. How are you assessing form? How? If you have a standard past performance.
I'll tell you how. You want to know how they do it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. They do it with trainer stats.
Okay.
Yeah. That and speed figure patterns, like the Sheets guys. Horse ran a thing.
Right, but I'm talking about like a standard past performance.
No, I know.
Even still, I know what you're saying. Like,
I'm not disagreeing with them. I'm saying how people do it today. and how they've been doing it for years. The other thing, some people take their own trip notes, and that's a lot of work. And so I think what we do is way different than what anybody does. We get it so that it's usable. You can apply it, and we show you how to apply it. But you can apply it any way you want. But it's done in a way that you can quickly assess what we're trying to say, because it's in a format and it's graded and it's scored so that it's usable. And it's the only thing like it out there. I've been using it. We've been using this for like 10 years, in this kind of format. We made it public, about 6-7 years ago now. And there's nothing like it. And I'm just surprised that there isn't even more talk about it, because it's that good. In fact, we don't probably do a good enough job marketing it ourselves, which is because we're in the midst of digging in and playing.
Because we're writing the notes, because we're taking the notes. We don't have to market because we're doing all these notes, and it's so time consuming.
And then you get clients who say, don't give it out. Don't market it so much, because it's an edge. So people the first thing they do is look at the plot, then they get into the notes, and then they're not quite sure. I have people cycle, and then they cycle back, and then they, it's almost like because it's like a light bulb goes on, because they're going through the process I went through to learn handicapping. All the things that work and don't work, right? And you and I, Emily, right? All the things that work, and then all of a sudden, this is it. This is going to work now. And I think that's what happens when you use it, because it's like, I don't know how to use this. Like, you get a lot of, and then over time, at some point, a light bulb goes on in people. Either they're hearing something, they see something else, and they come back to it, and they're like, oh, I get it now. But it takes a little while. But it's hard. I mean, handicapping's hard. It's not easy, because you got handicapping, you got a way to assess value. I hope somebody had that 210, because I did. I didn't get the bet. What did I pay?
$37.50 for a buck.
Yeah. Okay.
But that 10 is the perfect point, because I just looked at this race in 2 seconds. I've never watched a single one of this horse's races ever. I looked at your notes, and I could see exactly what was going on with this horse. This horse was improving. This horse needed shorter. He needed class drop. He had all of it. Did you hit pick 6, pick 4, pick 5? They're all anemic.
Yeah, because
John?
Yeah. I mean, but I must have it a lot of times, right?
Okay, well, that's at least good. So I knew where this horse was in its form cycle. I knew this horse needed claiming, and he needed cheaper. And today he's getting claiming, getting cheaper.
Yeah.
That's a story.
Exactly. Exactly. They got a good notes taker in New York, that Optix team.
Yeah. I'd say across the board, I think we have good ones.
No, I know. We got excellent. Kentucky this year did fabulous, actually. Churchill is a fabulous meet. So, I don't know if you guys follow those. There were some horses that 80-1 shots. It was incredible. If you just look at the notes and just playing those horses, it was just phenomenal. So. So where are we? We got.
The fourth at Del Mar.
Del Mar. I could close the Saratoga. I gotta go handicap Saratoga. Fourth.
Yeah. This is what
I like the fourth. I like the fourth. Then I said
you're gonna go right back to Peter Miller.
Yeah, I know. I know, but I like this horse.
It's getting a good price. It's 9-2 right now. It's currently the third choice in the doubles. And there's 3 4-1 horses as co-favorites, 6, 7, 8. The 8 is the
I don't like the 8.
The 8 is the favorite in the pick 3.
Either the 4 is going to go to lead and bust the 8 out, or the 8 is going to go and the 4 will stalk him. I just don't think it's going to be an easy deal for him.
Yeah.
The 3
The 7 just
wouldn't
takes it.
surprise me. The 3 shows speed. Okay, coming off the layoff, because that's how he wins. And then I guess the 6 looks okay. But
I mean, the 6 could be anything. The 6 could show speed. The 6 could have a huge move forward, coming back as a 3-year-old.
Interesting to see. Maker's got horses here, huh? He's got the 10, Mike Maker.
Yeah, his I think that Maker is his horses are gonna catch fire on their second time around, because he's running horses like this, right? Like this 10 horse. Can you pull it up on maybe the grid?
He's doing pretty well at Saratoga.
Well, no, I mean he's good. He knows what he's doing. So this is what I'm getting at. He knows what he's doing. But this horse is a good example of what. Okay, where I think he's.
I said race. Okay, 10.
Yeah, but this looks like it's race 5. Okay,
no,
there it goes.
I hit it wrong, and then I had to hit it again. I thought it was a little bit slow. I think I got to crack down and buy a new machine for our customers here, so I can see.
All right, now we're in the right race. Okay, so now we can go to the 10.
Yeah, but I gotta get the arrow. Okay.
Okay, so like a horse like this is making the first start in the circuit, but is racing at a level just above where this horse can probably win, right? Like his numbers fit like in par, but this is a step up. So a horse like this, I think this horse is protected. This horse will come back on a drop, like run a good race, but could come back on a drop. And it seems like a lot of his horses kind of have like that, where their position's just kind of slightly above where they can compete.
Yeah, because it looks like he peaked, right? Yeah. And so, this race, that almost like give him this race, get him familiar with the surroundings, and then you say come back on a little bit of a drop, and then cash out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I've been doing Gulfstream, and I'll be honest with you, I think this synthetic has been terrific. There's no baloney. The racing is fair. You can win from anywhere. The field sizes are good, because they basically kind of gave up on the turf a little bit there, just to give it a rest, I guess, which is a good thing. And they able to have bigger fields than the dirt races. And I don't know. I just think it's been a good experiment at Gulfstream. I'm hoping. Does anyone know? Is Belmont? Is that what they're going to do with the Belmont track too? Put a synthetic in for one of the turf courses?
I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat. Someone. I love the 7 at Del Mar in this race. Can you pull up the 7 real quick? The 7's currently favored. Soft favorite, 7-2.
I don't know if it's the right distance for this horse.
Yeah.
Or the right surface. I mean, the best race this horse runs 7 furlongs on the dirt. I mean, he's won on this level, but it was a maiden 50. I'm just not sure this is the right trip for him. How's he plot, Emily? Let me see. Oh, I don't like it.
Nah, not great.
Negatory.
Not great. I think if you're playing exotics, I would include the 1. Can you pull up the grid for the 1?
Yeah, I would include the 1 too.
And you kind of have like the plot for underneath, but it kind of has this he has that like every other pattern. I can excuse that allowance on April 30th because he ran a top, and other horses kind of racing above his level, but that was tactics, close, X flow. So no push close is that's a good combination. You hate to see the slog first. That sucks for a horse that can be a little bit sloggy. But a no push close.
But look at his Delmar.
The Doyle races. If he can get into the race and show some like tactical speed, those are state bred. But I mean,
he should. I mean, there's not much speed in this race. He should be.
Yeah. And if the inside keeps kind of being good, which is kind of my working theory on it, that helps his horses as well. It really doesn't plot good, the 7 that's disappointing. Yeah, because that's the distance. It's like the 5 furlong. It's a little bit tricky.
So I'm keen to 4 over the 1 and the 6. That's my opinion.
Oh, that was the other thing about the 7. Do you still have that grid up? Can you pull up the grid for the 7?
Sure.
This is the other thing that I thought was like I wasn't crazy about. This is kind of a second choice spot because he was entered on July 22nd, that opening day, to run on the main track and was unable to draw in. Scratched also eligible. So that was the first choice was to run on opening day at 6.5 furlongs. That they couldn't get into the race. Now they're like, all right, let's just go here.
Yeah,
like it may work out, but like intent wise, the plan wasn't to spread this horse 5 furlongs on the turf as the first choice.
I mean, I don't know what other speed figures, but with a 76 and 79 2 turf races, I don't know how this horse is the favorite.
Oh, good point. Yeah, good point. He's below, below.
Yeah. Maybe he gets better. Maybe he'll run better, but I don't know. But still got to get a lot better. And why would he take a short price on horses? Running slower than.
Tim Carey says the article said that the tunnels to the infield and a synthetic training track at Belmont.
Synthetic training track. Okay, so that kind of a main track. They should put it on a main track. I remember. I mean, they're going to run in the winter. I mean, it's crazy.
I'm with you. I mean, for you and I that watch horse races and handicap dirt, synthetic turf, high level tracks, A, B, C, D tracks all the time, synthetic is fine. It's a good surface. People are just
scared. You care about horses. You care about horses. I know how you're not using it.
Yeah.
Period.
People are just scared. They feel, oh, it's unpredictable. Oh, you got to breed them different. Like they just say like the weirdest, wacky stuff. It's like, how about if you just run them and see what happens and like get used to it and it's fine.
I mean, you think that, like Europe, I mean, you just think how like superior their horses are to ours. When they come here, I mean, they're coming here with like, what? They come here like 2 or 3 horses in a race and they dominate the race for the most part, right? It's like, they're like a tier above U.S. race. I know it's the turf, but still, I mean, because, they train that way and everything, and that's, they're healthier than horses, I guess, or whatever. They're just superior. And I don't know. I think we've kind of stepped back. Even like Japan, really. How many Japanese horses come here and run? And they're running like a grade 3, moving in that horse that won the I know that was a crazy race last year, the Philly race. But still, she won at a grade 1. And then they had that really nice filly on the turf that won the Breeders' Cup too. I don't know. And, it's not like we're running anywhere else and winning races. I mean, other than Wesley Ward on 6 furlong turf race or 5 furlong turf races. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's time to change the program up a little bit.
All right. We're going into the gate.
Tired of watching the Breeder Cup races, especially the 6 furlong races, like 6 horses, 5, all those major races, 6, 5 horses. And it's like,
yeah, I'm with you. even like with the big fields, even if it's horses that are like, they're not on the level, or the 3 just acted
Yeah.
up.
Oh, 2 just went
Uh,
through.
3 and 2. Let me get that note in. It just having that full field just changes the dynamic, right? Because then it's like it comes down to like trip and it gets pace, and it's like, just allows a horse that's live, that's a closer, maybe they can get the right dynamic, just like everything changes just by having that full field, even if it's not the absolute, like the
Right.
5 best horses,
Well, and then we don't keep horses around. I mean, no one does, even Europe. No one keeps horses around anymore. Essential quality. That horse should have been running until he was 5. He's the kind of horse that just was a horse that would just keep getting better and better. It would have been a real fan favorite. Gone.
The 4 broke slow. There's your speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, something's up. Something's up with Miller.
Yeah. He got an easy lead. It's going to be over. It catches 8. That's what I wanted the 4 to do. That's what I expected for the 4.
Yeah.
Well, it was a speed race, that for sure. I mean, that's what the plot was telling us, right? And no contention, no speed rating. Just on the wrong animal. Like I said, I think Emily's right. We got to be shorting Peter Miller a little bit here. His horses. I mean, they don't get out of the gate. That's bad.
Yeah, for that barn, especially with that.
This is that kind of race, you got. I mean, the gate's the whole race.
Yeah.
2 races in a row that like the horse that got out of the gate just won the race. I mean.
Yeah.
The red line, hey, whoever picked that horse did okay. Sat around 3rd. That was a no contest. Maven. Did they name that horse after Dave?
Oh, they have to. There's no other possible option.
He's retired from horse racing. I know.
Well,
I know
well, this week he's who knows.
Do you ever talk to him?
Like occasional Twitter back and forth, occasional message like here and there, but not regularly. You're the only person I talk to regularly, including my family. Outside of Frost.
Not to my wife, to my daughter, my surrogate daughter. I don't talk to anybody else either. I don't talk to any family. Yeah. My mother, my old 93-year-old mother, who's doing great.
Yeah.
She's complaining now because she's in a prison. She said. Because she's moved to this apartment where it's like she's not able to walk to the store like she lived in the Bronx. They still could walk to the store or the pizzeria. So she can't. She has to drive anyway. They took her car away because she was still driving when she was in the Bronx at 92, and they took her car away. And she's like feels trapped. But they have a lot of good things. She likes the people that she lives around, but whatever. She's funny.
The screen. The comment says the screen is blurry. LOL. Is it just me? The screen looks fine to me, so it might just be you. Maybe a refresh. It looks clear to me.
Yeah, make sure too. Sometimes if you bring these, make sure you're in high def because I don't know if you can watch. Sometimes you can watch videos and stuff in low def, depending on your bandwidth. But I think if you switch to high def, you should be able.
I mean, for me, it looks crystal clear on my phone. But okay, so as I was talking about that 10 for Maker, that horse finished 4th.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
like following that pattern. Like,
Yeah, put that horse down. Well, you don't have to because we have it for you.
yeah, drop. You'll see the drop keyword. Prep drop.
Yeah. Like E. Smith.
All right. Should we do one more race?
Yeah, let's do one more if that's okay.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, it's kind of a small field, the 6-horse field. We kind of talked about it a little bit, but we can also look at the San Diego on Saturday if you want.
yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's what race is that?
On Saturday it is so it's 30.
Oh, I'll look at it. Oh,
30.
Oh, Saturday.
Yeah. I'm gonna write. I haven't written it up for Focus yet, but I'm gonna do this one for Focus. So maybe we can kind of do it live for Focus.
Okay.
Save me a step.
Oh.
It's good. This is a good race, I think, in my opinion. Especially thinking it's a prep for the Pacific Classic.
Oh, it looks like some pace in this race.
Yeah.
Big meltdown.
Or is it? It's tricky because there's really kind of those EP types. It's kind of a
they can go either way, right? They can sit back. You know, one thing I do look at when I just kind of look, like this one looks like a good EP doesn't have to go for the lead, it could sit. You know, I just look at like how they do like their lengths being. Yeah, they're not like if these horses all were like within like their best races, you know, the good races were like within a length, then it'd be different. But it looks like they could sit, 2-3 lengths off. So yeah, I agree with you. It's probably not as bad, but still. Okay. Start with the one, right? You want to just make some general comment about the plot other than that? I mean, it looks like.
Well, I think that's good. We can kind of go back and forth. The other thing I was going to pull up is I think that the morning line is up already.
I don't have it.
I'm going to pull it up.
Should be up. Yeah, I didn't run it yet.
So I'll just reference this as we go through.
Okay.
So the one to me looks like a prep for this horse for a couple reasons. Where's the chart? One, because the horse is initiating a new form cycle, right? He's coming off that 61-day break, going back to his previous form cycle. He's a horse that like raced himself into shape, right? Like improving speed figures with racing. Won the Gold Cup. It was kind of a weak race, but even can you scroll over to the right a little bit? This is sort of one of the other things of the prep. Like Herrera rides this horse fine, but when it came to the stakes race, you know, they went with the big gun. So it just seems like a prep. So I would expect going to the plot that they're looking to get fitness out of this horse, and he probably will be more closer to the lead. Especially if they're not trying to win the race. They've got the rail, you know. They're going to get conditioning out of the horse. So this horse is 5-1 on the morning line.
Too short.
Way too short.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 to 12 to 1, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. There's two Baffert horses in here. As far as this horse, I think this is a better distance. We have the shorter keyword last out. But another one, just like in terms of class, in terms of progression, he has run well here at Del Mar. He's working fine. That I think this horse is better meant for this race than the other one that we'll get to. But I still just, as an individual, he's no standout.
And you had a week there on that Gold Cup, the Grade 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a short field too?
I believe 5 horses. Yeah.
Oh, Mandaloon.
Yeah, Mandaloon. I think Mandaloon looks very live in this race.
Live.
What's that?
Live, you said live?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because he's won at this distance. He's not really one that, like, I mean, he's been promoted to win at 10 furlongs, but for the most part, he's kind of been that 8.5, 9 furlong horse, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he kind of fits at this distance. He's second off a layoff. He's coming out of the Stephen Foster with the strong keyword. He's showing up here in 28 days. Just seems like he's meant for this type of race, right? It seems like he's fit. He looks good on the plot where he has tactical speed, he has finishing ability, he has class, he has recency. I mean, it's 4-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, look at that race shape of that Stephen Foster. Fast, very fast.
Yeah.
And the speed figure came back obviously good because he got a 103 and it was 9 lengths off. So
yeah, and it's not an outlier. The 103 is not an outlier for this horse. He runs those races.
No, right.
You know,
right. And he's still still young, right? So there's even more upside. So he looks like.
So I think they are thinking, if he runs well here, he'll go to the Pacific Classic. But I think that they're not trying. I don't think he's necessarily
pointed to
still one race away from his best. I think he's in a spot that he could run his best in this race.
Right. They may run him down the road and something in New York or something, get ready for Jockey Club or something. Okay, so he's a contender. What's his morning line, Emily?
4-1.
Yeah. Okay. Probably I would take a little less, 3-1. But
I think that's probably what I was going to go is 3.
Yeah.
And I'll make him prime. Probably. The 4 Stiletto Boy, he's 6-1 on the morning line. I mean, he doesn't look like in this scenario he's going to get lone or like a soft pace, which he needs.
Yeah.
And when he runs under,
it's definitely not going to get a soft pace, soft.
No, he's like lost in that shuffle. And the way like DeSormo rode him last year, DeSormo like rode for those minor finishes, but when they try to win, he needs to be on or near the lead.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's 6-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, I'm 10.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not telling you. I'm just saying my 2 cents.
No, I'm going with it. I like the input. It's good. Okay, the 5 is 20-1, which probably is right. I would just say, I mean, this horse is. Oh, the 1 just freaked out of the paddock. The thing with the 5 is like he's sloggy.
Ooh.
He's a good horse. He has tried, but this is going to be like a big class test, and he still has to show that he's like improved, right?
Yeah, and I mean, his 1 time 2 turns was not good. No, I guess.
Well, the Remington is 2. Yeah, they're both 2. Yeah, but it's different. That's a different ball game.
I'd probably make him even bigger.
What would you say above
30? I say 30.
Okay.
I mean, just numbers wise, class wise, it just doesn't match up.
I'm doing a note on the 1 because that horse almost like fell over in the paddock. Okay, so the 6 could run underneath because the 6 is going to show speed in this race, which we've already talked about the pace scenario. But I think this horse might be kind of the best of the speed today for this distance, and not necessarily the barn being super live, but this ownership group has been sending out live runners. So I don't necessarily think that this horse could win, not without a chance, but is one that could
Yeah.
kind of stay on as the speed and hold for a piece.
Cedillo, has he gone to another horse in here?
Who?
I hate the jockey off. Cedillo. He was the jockey last time. And he got
I don't know. Good question. I mean, this horse is going to be is another one that's like 20-1, 30-1.
Yeah.
The morning line has him at 15, but I think the public would make him higher.
I get you. You had Shorter here too at 8.5 furlongs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that's a tough pace there, but yeah, you might be right. He might be the speed of the speed. I guess. What number were we on? 5.
We're on the 7. Yeah.
7.
Okay.
Why is he only over there? No, 6.
Oh, that was okay. Sorry, I thought we were done. I thought we were done with the 6.
Yeah, no, I don't
okay.
like this. I don't like the 6.
Okay.
30.
Okay. All right. Fine. All right. Moving on. Okay.
Never mind.
The 7. Okay. So.
This I can get.
Okay. This is kind of where the Pacific Classic comes into play because Sadler's going to run Flightline in the Pacific Classic, right?
Yeah. Oh, he is?
For
okay.
sure.
Yeah. I don't
mean, that was kind of like question mark.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the plan?
Yeah, that's yeah. But,
okay. So this horse won the Pacific Classic last year. Okay. So I think a lot of people are going to look at this horse and think he's pointing to the Pacific Classic. Well, clearly Flightline is pointing to the Pacific Classic. So my theory is actually this horse is pointed to this race to win. He still might run the Pacific Classic. Right. Don't get me wrong. But just following this pattern, he's going to go second off the layoff. He's going to go, turf to dirt. We have a good note, traffic, prep, stretch. All those things are happening. Going back to last year, he won and started to improve going with that turf to dirt race.
Right.
Even though he finished second in this race last year, still B. I just think that the 7 is very well meant today, and there might be some chatter that this is going to be a prep for the Pacific Classic, and I think the opposite. I think that this is kind of the race. So
I agree.
Yeah.
6-1.
6-1. Yeah.
What is he in the morning line?
6-1.
Yeah.
Okay. The 8 is the morning line favorite, 5-2. This horse to me is Pacific Classic. That's where they're looking to go. He's coming off the layoff. He's run his better races, at the longer distance. He's training fine. He's actually working with the defunded horse. The other horse I talked about, defunded, I think is the 2. That's the horse that I think is better meant for this race, even though this horse is probably the classier horse. I just think he's a second off type. Look at even his pattern. He goes off the layoff, he finishes second, then he wins next out. It's like the same.
Yeah.
So as the morning line favorite, I would try to beat this horse.
Oh,
5-2. 5-2.
I just think the pace scenario is not that great either. I think
the
longer distance, especially if he runs good with this pace scenario, I think he comes back. He's got to deal with Flightline. Forget about that. I don't know. I don't like this pace scenario, especially with that post. I guess he's going to be. Is there speed outside of him too?
There's one more horse.
He doesn't have speed, does he? Yeah, he does.
He's kind of He can press.
Yeah, I'm not crazy on that horse as the favorite now.
No.
That horse. To me, I still have the Cox horses. Is it Cox? Mandaloon?
Mm-hmm. Mandaloon, yeah.
Lynn or Loon? Mandaloon? It's Loun, right? L-O-U-N.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
I would say mandolin, but it's not mandolin. I don't think it is.
It's not mandolin. No,
yeah,
I know it's not mandolin.
Mandolin.
Okay. Royal Ship. I mean, this horse makes sense. I think the distance cut back is a positive. That's kind of what got him beat last out. But just kind of another horse that on his best day he's good enough, but he's not always the most consistent with those best efforts. So, 4-1 on the morning line. I would prefer Mandaloon at the same number. I'm not against this horse, but I think he's probably would be like in the like 6 to 8 range.
Yeah, I would say. I think
8.
maybe underneath with this guy.
Yeah, more for underneath. Okay, so that's that.
Oh, cool.
Okay. All right, so we look at the 5th race now.
Yeah. So the one's really doesn't look happy.
No, that was the horse that like flipped. Yeah. That was like fractious and like fell on her knees on the paddock. So she's 3 to 5. You would not. I don't think you'd want her at 3 to 5 right now.
About a 3-5 exactly.
Charles B, can you pull up that comment real quick? Guys and gals. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. All right, so one kind of a bad favorite. The 2.
Is Dave still based in Vegas? Okay. I don't know. You know where Dave lives now these days? He lives in your town.
He goes everywhere. I mean, he's from up here, but
he's still playing cards, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of all over for that. I mean, I think the 5 is the value in this race. Or maybe you can even make the case for the 3 now, because the 3 is 4 to 1.
3-5, I'm saying. Exact box. Because that probably got some value, man. Let's see what it comes up with.
Yeah.
Jeez, the next tick.
$10.
Oh man, no, that's not value at all.
No.
No, pass. I'm passing.
Pass. But the 5, I mean, I'm betting almost outright at 7 to 2 because we talked about it. That's the one that has those 2 good sprint races. Both those races at Del Mar. I mean, if the 5 doesn't run well here, she's done. Right?
Yeah. Done. Yes, I agree with that. Someone likes the 3-5. Charles. Okay.
They can't bet the one on the behavior. Exactly. Terrible behavior. And then 4 to 5. It's like, are people not watching the screen? And then also, is anybody in the people on the Santa Anita, or I mean on the Del Mar feed, are they being like, whoa?
Yeah, no. Well,
public, we gotta back up a little bit. This horse fell over.
Yeah. Sometimes they could throw you like New York does that, where they give you some insights to the horses, which is good. But
yeah,
at least they can throw you off a little bit too. You know what I mean?
It can, but I mean, okay, let's say this one wins. Let's say you give the information and say, this horse is acting up. She was in the paddock. She fell on her knees. Just at 4 to 5, if she wins, I mean, are you going to be pissed?
No. But you know what? 3 is the favorite in the pick 5.
Interesting. What's it paying?
$1,790 for 50 cents.
1,700? Damn.
1,800. Almost.
Wow.
17. That's not bad, right?
That's good. I mean, I'm glad I took a poke at this sequence. I was terrible at it, but at least
I don't know about Saratoga so much, but I would imagine it's the same. But Aqueduct and Belmont, I don't think there's a better pick 5s. I don't think there's a better value at pick 5s in New York than New York. I don't know. It just seems like there's value no matter what you do. There's value in it. The takeout's low. That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's very important.
Yeah.
And then just like the sequence, I don't know what it is. And you could get you could do okay even with short fields, especially if you beat a favorite here or there, and it doesn't have to be a big favorite. Like, you just pick non-favorites, you could do okay. It's always been a good value.
Well, that's the way this has been. There's been only that one favorite, that Hess horse. That was the only favorite in the sequence.
Yeah, that's what it's
been.
Because
the Baffert horse must have been crushed. That Baffert in the maiden claiming race, that horse must have been singled.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, that horse took a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you though, I don't think you can beat I mean, it's been a little bit off this year, but Saratoga for betting purposes, especially some of those turf races, just great betting opportunity.
Del Mar too. Del Mar's been great betting.
I haven't followed. It's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I think great fields.
Saratoga could cut back a day. It wouldn't hurt them. It would only help them. No reason that they were fine. I guess just because they got people vacationing and they don't want to give them an extra day or something. I don't know. Wednesday. I don't know if it's necessary. I don't know. Put synthetic tracks in. I mean, you could run more days then. You have less catastrophic breakdowns. You have less horses injured. Two's acting up a little behind you. So he wants to.
I have my. Oh, if you haven't already, please hit the like button on the YouTube. That's really much appreciated. But our live feed right now, we have 16 people watching, which is cool. But Breeders' Cup has one going on at the same time, Horse Players Happy Hour, and they have 18 watching. So we're doing pretty good.
Okay.
We're going toe to toe with Breeders' Cup.
We're holding on crowd.
Yeah, we're moving up. If we can get added ground, we can pass Breeders' Cup. We can go the distance.
We do next week. We do a focus race. We show the focus. We show it and we go.
Oh, going through the process?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you did just now, but why we just do that?
Okay.
For a big race on Saturday or something.
Okay.
I hit that first.
Well, and the other thing, I mean, I don't know if you have the technology to do it, or if somebody in the chat wants to volunteer or something to do this, but to take this live stream and then take little clips out of it, right? So we can make a separate video that is that analysis of the grade 2 San Diego.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Cut that time and make it as a separate video and post it as, the handy. Shit, we did it. It's done.
I used to have software to do that. I gotta make sure I have a license. So.
They don't have your software. It is the best. It is the best. Optix is the best. And it's only going to get better because we use it and we know what, if something's missing, we're we gotta get it. We need this.
We talk about some of those things too. Yeah. I have a lot of ideas, because what happens is you start doing this and then you start realizing, we can do this better. Or we can add to this. Or we got this content. We can use this content in a different way. Like all the note stuff we can do in so many different ways. Plot information. We can integrate. I think I'm talking a lot. I think the key to really good would be integrating more stuff, so that if you want to look at this information, you maybe just hover over the horse's box or square or circle and stuff. Maybe more information's there, like a closer look on the horse, or profile information. Because we got all the content. We just need to analyze it and have some algorithms do some stuff with it, so that we can present it in cut it in different kinds of formats. Yeah, we got a lot of ideas, but it's only so many hours in a day.
Only so many people on the payroll.
Yeah. Yeah, but what we're doing right now is we're doing some things to the back end. It won't really impact users, but what it do is going to help us get access to data better so that we can do some of the things we want to do. So it's going to be like a phase thing that we're doing right now that's going to help us get to that next level, right? So all the information, all the things that we thought were missing and things we wanted to add, they're going to be there. It's just a matter of now, we just got to build the infrastructure to get it into the database data sets, and then we'll be able to do something with it. And then we can get help too. Because the other thing is, to get help, you have to have things in a way so that people who come in could use their skills right away, so that they, they're not like, I don't understand what you're doing here, what you're doing there. The data's all over the place. But if we can set it up differently, then we can go and get help to go after some stuff and get it in different kinds of formats and so forth, and do different things with the data. So it's exciting though, because what I say, we're close to 1 million trip notes now, Emily, or something. I don't know. It was like, somebody gave us like 700, 800,000 or something.
Yeah. Charles, that's the key. That last comment, can you put that one up there, John? Because that is like the big differentiator between just handicapping races and then understanding how to use that handicapping information to bet, right? Because it's so much different than just like picking, right? It's like you can assess value on those horses to understand how to play a particular race or how to pass a particular race, how to play a race. This race is a good race to play horizontal, to play vertical, to not play horizontal, to not play vertical, to play in certain ways.
This is a good pass race.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the other
so
products
you have a pass
that
race.
are good.
I'm sorry, Emily. You have a pass. This is what I was trying to talk about. The pick 5 strap. You really have a pass race like this. Can you really play this race at pick 5 if you don't like this race? I mean, it becomes difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah. The 3 didn't even make the lead. What a
He's
weird.
last. The 1's in the lead. It's going for the lead. The race is completely upside down right now.
Yeah. What is happening?
You know what? It looks like there's some kickback on this track. I didn't look at it.
I just think there's the 2 is just a no handle. I mean, just like a no keep, like cheap.
Wow. I mean, these horses just didn't show up. I mean, they're all struggling behind this horse. Don't you think? No one's catching this horse.
No. The three missing the break changed the entire thing.
They would need. Are you saying that right now? I bet you. Spread out wings to get to this thing.
Yeah. God, a 3 is
so the 3 goes. So 3 doesn't break. They take the 1 out of his style, and the 6 just sits the perfect trip. Right, he's right in there. He's
well,
like
6 is 6 is lone. All 6 is lone all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a good call on the 1, though, Emily. That horse that horse was not right.
No.
Well, he floated the 8 to 3 was 8 to 5. I've noticed lately, a lot of people get these like where I find value in quadrant 1 is the race before, when you have 2 horses in quadrant 1, and it's like at that low contention, low speed. I notice when you have these like horses that look like they're so well above, they get over bet a lot of times. So there must be other things that are, other people got information that's saying, hey, these horses are going to win, they're going to be low in speed, and it just, I don't know, they're undervalued and they underperform, I find. So I prefer let me go back to that race I showed you. I'm talking about race 4. I just find this, so what you're looking for here is a couple of things. You're looking for the contention. You want it to be a snowflake, and you're looking for a speed rating like under 15 or something. And you see a quadrant like 1 like this. Even though these horses are both circles, they might look great. They're an advantage, especially when you're talking about, 5 furlongs, right? So if you look at the quad percentage, I bet you, you see how it's okay. 4 and 8, they're above the line here. 6 is kind of mixed. They're good and bad, but 4 and 8, So this is the profile I like to see. betting quadrant 1 horses. You know, sometimes you can get a real nice price on a horse in this scenario. So that's a good long shot. The other long shot one is where you have that heavy contention, high speed rating like over 50, and then you got a bunch of horses here that those kind of bundled up, and you got like a horse in quadrant 4 that's a nice size square. It's another kind of what I call extreme scenario.
Got it. Well, shall we call it?
That's it. I think so. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah.
Good job.
Very.
Thanks everyone for participating.
Remember, if you haven't already, just hit that like. Thank you so much for sharing this. I really like it. Good. We're getting it every Thursday.
Yeah.
And if people keep showing up and it has a following past Del Mar, we'll consider extending it out further.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's always good doing.
Yeah.
Having fun with Emily here, so enjoy handicapping. All right, everyone. Good luck. Have a great Saturday, and thank you, Bill.
All right.
And that's end the story, end the broadcast.